What a Christmas extra holiday present we have for ourselves today
We sure do.
with
What
an extra what the fuck
the
emergency
fuck?
coming at you from those who bring you crime, cocktails, and BS. I love our little tidbit extra
I love it
side
too.
thing. We just can't get over this Esopha-Gate, which still haven't heard anyone else call it that.
Yeah, it's truly yours.
Trademarking. Gotta get on that trademark. Sir Andy Cohen, that's mine before you use
Suffocate.
it. Esopha-Gate. Yes. So, I have these things called shower thoughts where I legit only have one good shower thought and I have to legit jump out of the shower, either write it down or text the person. And it's usually about work or this. So Kaisa gets the shower thought often. And I literally will say, hey, shower thought.
I'm obsessed.
And
It's like the best present
I
to
feel
get.
bad for the people who experience it.
Why? It's
However,
exciting.
it happens every time. So the shower thought was we need to talk about Esopha-Gate because shit is hitting with the fan with this,
It really
which
is.
honestly was not expecting it to
Mm-mm.
become this. I thought it was
I
just gonna
think
be
it
like
was like the
another.
last drop for Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Everyone's fed up.
everyone is really fed up. And so many, not so many, but a lot of fans and some Bravo celebrities are coming to Sutton's defense.
Hmm.
And the fans are actually calling for Annemarie Wiley to be removed from the show
Yeah,
altogether.
she was humbled quickly.
Very quick. Welcome to the show.
Bye.
Well, yeah, seriously.
Shut
So,
down.
quick recap. So, a few episodes ago, I believe it was at the weed party.
Mhm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Kyle suggested that Sutton had an eating disorder, where Sutton later told cameras in her confessional that she actually has an esophagus disorder. Now, what is an esophageal disorder, you may ask? Well, we did some digging for you, so you don't have to go and figure it out. So, according to the Cleveland Clinic, esophageal disorder are a group of conditions that impact your esophagus, which, if you didn't know, is the tube that carries food from your mouth to your stomach. There are several types. However, the most common is gastrointestinal reflux disease, also known as GERD. Now, I actually didn't realize that that is considered an esophagus disorder.
I didn't either. I've heard of that though.
And yeah, I've heard of
Like
that a lot.
often. Yeah.
Yeah. And symptoms of that include heartburn and trouble swallowing. So that makes a lot of sense. Now, what even makes more sense when it comes to Sutton are what can cause it. So, alcohol, carrying extra weight, medications like antibiotics, antidepressants, and pain relievers, radiation therapy to the neck or chest, and smoking. Now, we know Sutton is quite the smoker if you've seen
Yes.
the show.
Yes.
Um,
And drinks.
yes.
So
So, and she also comes in one of her confessionals and talks about how her brother also has the same issue and he has decided to get his esophagus stretched where she has decided not to. So it
sounds
also sounds like
awful.
it's genetic. It does sound awful.
Like an awful surgery. Like, ugh.
So it sounds also like it's genetic. And
Mm-hmm.
so if her brother is also suffering from this, and it sounds like we're saying it sounds terrible.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Like, as someone who has just recently started getting heartburn, it is
Oh,
not okay. It is not a good feeling. So that on
no.
top of not being able to swallow, no thank you.
Yeah, especially when you wake up in the middle of the night and you have like that acid reflux
Just
moment.
burning. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, thank you.
I used to have to take medicine for that in high school because I was a runner and I had tons of acid reflux for some reason
That was
after
probably an
track
esophagus
races.
disorder. You
Maybe.
should look into that.
I mean, I don't have it anymore, but
Still.
still. But even if she is like embellishing or being overdramatic about it, Kyle should not be talking shit
Mm-mm.
about her. is all I've got to say.
Yeah, I mean, so the shower thought, coming back to it, was because let's not forget however many seasons ago when they were at the wine tasting and Kyle was telling all of the women about her eating disorder and having to come clean to her daughters about it when she was
Just
younger.
9 pounds
Yeah.
just eating.
Like she
Yeah.
would eat like what, 6 almonds or something, and that was like her meal of the day. So I
Which
think,
awful. Like,
yeah, absolutely
but
terrible. But I would think as someone, if you had gone through that and survived that, wouldn't you have some kind of like compassion and try to be like a support for someone that you believed had a similar issue to yourself?
she's never been sympathetic to issues she's dealt with. Like,
No.
yeah, she's been a hypocrite this entire time she's been on the show. Like,
Yeah.
the suicides that people have dealt with, like, now she's expecting sympathy for that. But in the past, when like Lisa Vanderpump had her brother commit
Mm-hmm.
suicide, she was not sympathetic to that. Same with Sutton's dad. Like, she was not sympathetic, and she just like weaponized it. And now she's dealing with it and thinks everyone should be extremely sympathetic and just give her a pass
Yeah.
for whatever she does. Yep.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
It's the deflection.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Yeah. So now so many fans are upset with Annemarie Wiley because it's almost like she's bringing her in as another way of deflecting from what's going on in Kyle's life because she is a friend of Kyle's who was brought on to, I feel like, she's clearly having issues with Sutton,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. And I feel like Kyle brought her on to be like, oh, you're going to stand up for me. I'm having issues with this girl. Let's see how you can like help me out here. So Sutton was throwing her event, and at the event, Annemarie told Sutton that she should go to a doctor and chew her food more. Now, Annemarie Wiley is a nurse anesthesia. I can't pronounce it.
Anesthesiologist.
Yeah, but so
So
she
she's not a
is.
doctor.
She's not a doctor. However, she is able to independently administer anesthesia. And in a confessional, she said, after hearing about Sutton's small esophagus as a nurse
Yeah.
anesthetist, I'm like, what she's saying, as stated, just doesn't make sense, period. And she continues to go on at Kyle's house. I was like purely disgusted by the mean girl, like, let's
Mhm.
bash Sutton, let's make mean girl jokes about it. And I was like
Yeah, they were
super
just
disappointed
giggling
and
and
Dorit about it. Cause
yeah.
like I've liked her a lot more this season. And then seeing her like totally go backwards in that way, I was like, girl, come on.
Yeah, what did she
Like, you're
say?
better.
She was like, now she doesn't eat, or sometimes she doesn't eat meat, sometimes she
Well, she
doesn't like.
sat down first and Kyle had like that huge charcuterie board set up. And she was like, now, Kyle, I don't have a small esophagus, but my
Yeah.
stomach is the size of a woman,
Yeah.
like a small woman or something. Like
Yeah.
she made some flippant comment.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, girl,
Come on.
come on. Um, and so those comments that Annemarie was making at the event in her confessionals and at Kyle's house have not only set off the fans who on Instagram, on BravoTV.com, everywhere, who are calling for her to be gone. Now, two Bravo celebrities in particular have come out swinging. And these two I actually am huge fans of. First one being Dr. Nicole Martin, which if you've listened to our normal brought to you weekly show, Crime Cocktails and BS, which if you are just catching us on this episode, go check out the
Go
rest of
listen
us
to it.
because you know how much we adore Dr. Nicole Martin.
Mm-hmm.
She came out on fire on her Instagram, putting out a reel on December 22nd, calling out Annemarie for her cringy comments. So in her reel, she said, it doesn't matter where you fall on the spectrum, all the way from being a tech to being a doctor. You joined the profession to be an advocate for patients, and as such, it is not our place to belittle, question, or demean a patient's symptoms or diagnosis. We are there to facilitate and help the patient through the medical process, and it was just very uncomfortable and cringy to watch Annemarie belittle Sutton's symptoms in such a way.
Mhm.
She then jumped into the comments section because she wasn't done, which is why I love Nicole,
I
and
didn't
said,
see the comments.
she
I'm
said,
yeah.
medical gaslighting occurs when a medical professional dismisses or downplays a patient's physical symptoms or attributes them to something else, like a psychological condition. Numerous factors can contribute to this behavior, but ultimately the patient is impacted, so let's do better. And then put the thumbs down emoji. I was like, yes, Nicole, you do it,
Example,
girl.
Potomac. That
Yes.
doctor. That's medical
Yes.
gaslighting, not
Medical
listening to the
gaslighting.
patient's, like, actual feelings or what they are telling you their body is doing. Like,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. It is medical gaslighting. And
Mhm.
that's spot on. Great example. What that fertility doctor was saying to NECA. Now, what Annemarie is saying to Sutton, it's medical gaslighting. So I also love the fact that um, Nicole is also a anesthesiologist,
Mhm.
like full on doctor of anesthesiology. And so is our other Bravo celebrity who came out with some comments about this, which is Dr. Tiffany Moon of Dallas. And if you don't follow her on Instagram and TikTok, I plead you to do so. She is fantastic. And also, if you've never watched Dallas, did you watch
It's great.
Dallas?
Yeah, it's great.
I want them to bring it back.
I
Like
know,
that's
me too. They're problematic, but
well,
I
I
love
don't
them.
maybe not Leanne Locken, but like
Yeah, she was unhinged, but yes.
or what's her face? The
I
redhead
honestly
Brandy. I'd say bring back the rest of them. Like bring back
yes.
Tiffany, bring back Stephanie. Like I follow Stephanie on Instagram. I
I
love
love
her.
Stephanie too.
Stephanie
Yeah.
Holman. I love them. But yeah. But yeah, so Dr. Tiffany Moon jumped in, so she's also an anesthesiologist.
Which, by the
Uh
way, takes a lot of medical training. It's like
so
if they get
much.
it wrong, they
They're
kill you. So it's like, yeah, it's
yeah,
a
you
big
can't
deal.
mess around. Yeah. So she also took to Instagram to talk about this and she said kind of along the same lines as Nicole, saying she thought it was very disturbing how Annemarie was like weaponizing her medical profession to tell Sutton things about her own condition. The
Mhm.
esophagus exists for one reason, which is to get food from your mouth to your stomach. It's just like a long, narrow tube. Sometimes the esophagus can have a stricture, which is a narrowing, and it can be severe or it can be mild. So you don't just chew your food more. A stricture is a stricture, and you can chew your food all you want, but unless you blend it into a smoothie, if your stricture is narrow, you're gonna have the feeling of food stuck in your esophagus. So that's exactly like what Sutton was saying and Dorit was commenting on. She was saying like at one point Sutton was saying like she had to like blend all her food almost like baby food. So that makes sense that if she did have a stricture that was pretty severe, she'd have to do that.
Mhm.
So that makes a lot of sense. So um Dr. Tiffany Moon ended it by saying, I don't know what made her go at Sutton so hard, especially since it was at her party. And then she
Yep.
said, I found that to be incredibly rude. But yeah, let's not use our medical knowledge to come at people, especially when you're wrong.
Also, I was wrong. She's an anesthetist, right? Not
Yes.
an anesthesiologist.
Well, no,
Sorry.
but it is that so she even though she's at the nurse level,
Mhm.
she's able to independently administer anesthesia.
Okay.
Um so what I liked about what Tiffany said was that she called Annemarie out for using her
Mhm.
medical degree to belittle someone like Nicole did. I love how she was like, you're wrong
Mhm.
and you're still going after someone even though we all know you're wrong."
She should have
And
known better.
yeah, and then I also just love that it was like, I don't know what made her go at her so hard. Like we
She's
all know
trying to
what did.
make her place, first of all, on
Yeah.
the show, but then also, yeah, Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. Like we all know you're doing this because you're friends with Kyle.
Mhm. Totally.
It's like, stop
It's
trying to make fetch
annoying.
happen. It's not like,
It's like giving mental illness at this point.
yeah.
Yeah, like left and right, Kyle has been using other people as pawns for whatever she wants because
Hmm.
she cannot handle when she doesn't have control of the narrative. So
Yep.
that's what's happening here. It's all about distracting from her marriage issues and like not she's not sharing anything on the show, like always. And the spotlight is on her, so she can't handle it. She's just like using other people to bring something else to the spotlight, and it's
Then it's
really
like, if
annoying.
you can't handle it, then why are you still on the show?
Yeah.
Has
Honestly, I've wanted her gone for a long time.
Well, is it like, have you been able to survive 13 seasons because you've been able to successfully deflect for that long, and now finally you've kind of like met matches where you can't deflect that much?
Seriously. Yeah.
And she's
That's what
also
it
kind of
is.
shooting herself in the foot by like her own allies, let's call them, not even friends, like starting to turn on her in some way, being like, you're not even hanging out with me. Like Dorit is saying, like, we're not
Hmm.
close anymore because you're hanging out with these other people.
Yeah.
So
That scene was sad in the
that
car.
was really sad.
I was like,
But again, that's exactly what
yeah.
Kyle did to Lisa Vanderpump when Dorit came into the picture. And now she's doing it to Dorit. So it's like, it's a pattern.
Kyle freaking used her sister as a scapegoat. Her alcoholism.
Yeah. I mean, she always
Like,
finds
she
someone with
outed
an
people.
issue
Yeah.
and uses them to deflect from what's going on in her life.
Hmm. It's very toxic.
Who's always the common denominator here, guys?
For real. You can tell we're not fans.
And it's sad because I
Not
used to
fans.
be.
Me too. At the beginning.
Yeah.
She was funny. Her splits. Her
Now it makes sense why her and Bethany are friends.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I just saw those pictures in
Yeah.
Aspen. Weird.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also the eating disorder thing, sorry.
Yeah.
People are calling her out for using Ozempic and she was like, stop talking about people's bodies and their like medical use. And
What a
it's like, what are you
hypocrite.
doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what are you doing, Kyle?
Hmm.
Like,
What did
what?
she say to Sutton? Sutton was like, I can't eat, or I do eat. And she was like, but you don't.
Oh, that she
Camera.
pushes
That
her
was
food
so
around
rude.
on her plate instead of eating
Hmm.
it.
Like, probably because it hurts really bad.
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
mean,
want to do it on camera either if I was like going to be in pain,
yeah, or like I wasn't going to be
you
able to
know?
get it down. Like, you don't want to
Yeah.
be regurgitating food on camera.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to be doing that not on camera. Like, why?
Mm-mm. That's awful.
Yeah, I don't get it. But
Yeah.
that's why they're them and they're on TV and we're gonna watch the rest of it play out. I don't know how many episodes are left,
I
but I
don't know
guess we'll
either.
see.
I feel like it's got to be coming to an end.
I feel like we're at least halfway through.
Yeah. Wait, yeah. Maybe I'm guessing 4 more episodes. I don't know.
Yeah. They haven't said anything about the reunion yet.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe we're at like the halfway.
Yeah. Well,
Well, we'll see. More
it's
to
been an
come.
interesting season.
Yes, it has. And I'm sure more will come of this and we'll
Yes.
see what else comes out. But I love doing these like little
I feel like
ones.
this has got to be Kyle's last season, though.
It has to be.
Whether she quits or she gets
As
fired.
Dorinda likes to say, it gets put on pause.
Gets put on
I've been
pause.
watching Ultimate Girl. I've been binging it all day.
Me too. Oh,
So
I have to finish. I think there's a couple, I have to watch a couple more episodes. Yay.
yeah, I've been
That's what
binging
I'll
that all day while taking my Christmas decorations down.
do. Yay. You should come down literally the day after Christmas. That's crazy.
It's the 26th. They're gone. It's all
That's
done.
good. That's
They
good.
are
I'm proud of
done.
you.
Thanks. But yes, I love doing these little ones.
Me too. They're
They're
fun.
fun. Yes, Jinx.
Do
Let
more
us know
next
if you,
season.
yes, let us know if you guys like these. Remember, comment, subscribe, follow, like, go follow us on Instagram at Crime Cocktails and BS. This has been another episode of What the Fuck Emergency.
Woo-woo.
Woohoo! Bye. Bye.